Hello, this is Spellsquires MTG, and today I'm going to do a deck tech on my Locust God deck. The Locust God is a 6 mana 4/4 God with flying, and whenever you draw a card, create a 1/1 blue-red insect token with flying and haste. And then you can pay 2 a blue and a red to draw a card and discard a card. You don't always use that, but it can be helpful too. And then when the Locust God dies, return its soul in its hand at the beginning of the next end step. So that's like it's a god and it's immortal. So what we want to be doing in this deck is drawing a lot of cards, sometimes discarding them, and also making our opponents draw some extra cards in the meantime, and also stopping them from drawing cards. So first of all we have our ramp section. This will allow us to get our command onto the battlefield. First up we have some mana rocks at 2 mana or less, which is most of them. Obviously we have a Soul Ring. This will allow us to get our commander out on turn 4. We also have Arcane Signet, Mind Stone, Talisman of Creativity, Star Compass and Is It Signet, and then finally Corrupted Graftstone. Corrupted Graftstone can be a bit temperamental, but often we've got a Faithless Looting or a Thrill of Possibility in our hand to discard stuff, so we have stuff to tap for that. Very good budget mana rock there, and Mind Stone can replace itself later on. Next up we have some more expensive ramp. We have Commander Sphere. Taps for both of our colours, or you can cash it in for a card later on. Next you have Palladium Mirror and Burnished Heart. Both of these are creatures which will get us mana. Palladium Mirror can be replaced for a 1 power stone. I can get hold of one, so it's just effectively the same except it gets removed by board wipes. And then Burnished Heart allows us to pay 3 and get 2 basics. Locust got Eternity earlier, like most of our ramp. And this one, this deck can combo off, so this can allow us to do it. We can, if let's say our opponents have like 5 Travis or something, get 5 mana, store up for the next turn, cast our Locust God early, or play a lot of wheels in one turn. Next we have our card draw spells. Wheels are not included in this section, so we have Deep Analysis. Especially great if you can discard it and pay 2 mana and 3 life to draw 2 cards. Otherwise it's just fine. Fever Visions allows us, our opponents, to draw cards, but they take damage for it. And then Calm with the Crescent Moon also draws us extra cards and our opponents. Often people get angry when you play this deck, so you can sort of calm them down a bit. Next up we have Reconnaissance Mission and Windreader Sphinx. These allow us to go infinite with a card named Breath of Fury. I'll show you that combo in a minute, so I'll put these off to the side. These allow us to draw cards with our Locusts, so Windreader Sphinx, so we attack with 5 Locusts, draw 5 cards, make 5 more Locusts. Reconnaissance Mission, deal for damage with 5 Locusts, draw 5 cards, make 5 more Locusts. This deck can get out of control very quickly. Then next up we have Treasure Cruise and Secrets of the Golden City. This deck we have a lot of permanents, so drawing 3 for 3 mana is pretty great. We can do that most of the time. In Treasure Cruise, you can have a lot of cards in your graveyard from wheeling and discarding, so you can easily pay that delve cost. And then Loyal Drake allows us to draw a card in combat if we control our commander. Often we have that. It's quite difficult to kill because if it dies, it just comes back again. So you can always make a Locust with that. And then Skull Clamp is an amazing card. I do not have Ashnod's Ultra in this deck, but because that would be another infinite combo, I think 2's enough. This allows you to equip your Locusts for 1 mana, draw 2 cards, make 2 more Locusts. So you basically pay 1, sacrifice a Locust, make 2 Locusts, draw 2 cards, which is amazing. Next we have our wheel effects. We have around 14 of these. First of all, we have the ones which are only wheel us. So, Clax's Defiance, you can use as a removal spell as well, or you can finish off an opponent if they're quite low. You mainly use it for the wheel though. Channeled Force can also be used as a removal spell. Cycle the card you don't want away in your hand and then remove a creature. Forgotten Creation, you can make a load of tokens during your upkeep. or just recycle your hand if you don't like it. And it is a May ability. We have Tolarian Winds, which discards your hand and draws that many cards. Warpora shuffles them in and then draw that many cards, and you can pay a red and sacrifice it on the bottom ability, and everybody does it. And Fateful Showdown discards your hand and then deals that much damage to target creature or player, and you draw that many cards. So discard 5, draw 5, make 5 locusts. Next we have the ones which wheel everybody. Commit can also be used as a removal spell. Then once you've used that, we can cast this from our graveyard. It shuffles our graveyard in, not the worst. These ones will wheel everyone. Incendiary Command can be used as a bit of a board wipe. 2 damage to each creature. You can blow up a guy's cradle or something. Game Plan and Commit to shuffle your library, and then each player draws that many cards and they both exile themselves. Windfall and Jace's Archivist discard. Each player discards their hands and draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards discarded this way. These can be used as draw spells if you need to. Often we have more cards than everyone else at the table. Very good, very cheap to cast. Then we have Magus of the Wheel. Each player discards their hand, draws 7. You can get everyone to discard their hand. Let's say someone's tutored. This deck's very annoying for combo decks. Because they might have searched the library for a card, put it into their hand, but then they get rid of it. Then Chandra Flamecaller. The 0 abilities in there, and then also the board wipe at the bottom can be used as well. We also have more board wipes coming up next, so you can discard your hands and draw that many cards +1. So it replaces itself, and it's actually considered card advantage after that. We have 3 more board wipes after Chandra. We have Star of Extinction, which deals 20 damage to each creature, each Planeswalker, and destroy a land. Often we have enough mana to cast that. And if we're behind, you can cast that as well. Magma Quake misses our Locust tokens and hits Planeswalker as well, and it's instant speed. So let's say someone's made a load of tokens with haste, cast this for 3 or something, knock out all of those tokens. Then Aetherize, you can do the same thing, protect yourself from attacking creatures. Often people like attacking you because you're a very large threat, so you need ways to protect yourself. Next we have single target removal, which we have 4 of. These are just single target removal, which don't have anything stapled to them. As I said, one of the wheels did earlier. So Reality Shift, exile target creature and its control and manifests. Very small downside there, they're not always going to hit a creature. And it's instant speed. Leadership Vacuum removes commanders. Very efficient because it's instant speed, especially good against partner decks. You'll be seeing a lot more of those because of Commander Legends. Chaos Warp shuffles a permanent into their owner's library. Often the card they flip is a land or an instant or sorcery. The worst thing I've had flip off a Chaos Warp before, I think, it's probably when I was playing this deck. It's probably I flipped onto a Wind Reader Sphinx and won, I think. After my friend Chaos Warped my commander, I believe. Ether Gale, return up to 6 target non-land permanents to their owner's hands. You can get rid of a lot of stuff. Wipe someone's board, very good. But you have to have all 6 targets, which is annoying. Next up we have Camtrips. These replace themselves, apart from Frantic Search, but that untaps your lands. This is basically free. 2 free locusts, cycle for a couple of cards, find board wipes, for example. Faithless Looting, discard 2, draw 2, and then you can cast it from your graveyard. Get 2 locusts, quite easy. You can cast an early game to sculpt your hand. For the possibility, say you discard a card, and well, Cathartic Reunion says discard 2 cards, but then you replace them. 2 mana to get 3 locusts is very good, and so is 2 mana to get 2 locusts. And you get the cards back again, of course. Brainstorm, 1 mana get 3 locusts, put 2 on top, which you can also shuffle away. Or if you're about to wheel, you get to keep the cards from that. Next up, we probably have the most fun bit of the deck. These are the token synergies. So these are benefits having lots of creatures. First up, we have Breath of Fury. This enchants a creature you control, and when it deals combat damage to a player, you sacrifice it and attach Breath of Fury to a creature you control, and then you have an extra combat phase. So what you can do with this card is, with Locust God and either of these two, deal combat damage with a Locust. Let me find one. So you have Breath of Fury on one Locust, and let's say you have another one. So you've got these. You've got Reconnaissance Mission or Wind Reader Sphinx. You deal combat damage with a Locust, sacrifice the Locust, and then untap all creatures you control and attach it to another creature. You'll then have 2 more Locusts. But then because the Locusts have haste, you can then swing them again. And you have infinite combat steps. And of course you'll be drawing cards whilst you're doing this, so you can perhaps find a way to make your Locust bigger. And both of them are May abilities, so you're not going to kill yourself with it. Obviously, the more Locusts you attack with in the first place, the more less combat steps you have to go through to kill everyone. Fury, if there's a blocker, this deck's got quite a bit of removal to get rid of them. And also all your creatures have flying, so it doesn't matter quite so much. And obviously if you've got 7 Locusts, you can attack with 7, sacrifice 1, then you get attack with 6, attack with 5, attack with 4, and you can just kill someone off by doing that. Next you have Khan's Temporal Sundering. Basically the same as an extra combat step, but you get an extra untap as well. You can cast more wheels, make more Locusts, and attack with more next turn, and it also bounces something. Ogre Battle Driver. Whenever a Locust enters, it gets +2/+2 in haste. The haste doesn't matter, but this makes all your Locusts 3/1s, which is quite scary because you don't know how many there's going to be. I'm going to leave this card for the moment. Shared Animosity. This gives your Locust +1/+0 for each other creature attacking, which has the same creature type. So you attack with 7 Locusts. Each of them get +5/+0. Then you're attacking with 6/6/1s, which is 36 damage. Where it would have, before it would have just been 6. Next you have Torbrand, Fane of Redfell. Deals an extra 2 damage whenever a red source hits. Your Locusts are red and blue. So when you connect, you hit with 3 instead. This is very scary, and you can kill off your opponents pretty quickly with it. Next you have Tetsuro Umezawa the Fugitive. This says that creatures' power or toughness 1 or less can't be blocked. Locusts have 1/1s. Let's say you give them +7/+0, they're still unblockable. And Goblin Bombardment, this works very well with Torbrand. Let's say someone's on 6, you've got 6 Locusts, you can just go bang, bang, bang and kill them off. Torbrand, you deal 3 damage per Locust, which is kind of insane. Next you have Sage of the Fools. This goes infinite with Locust God. If a non-human creature enters, you draw a card, then discard a card. So let's say when Sage of the Fools enters, you draw a card, make a Locust, sees another one, makes another Locust, makes another Locust, and that's infinite. For as long as you have cards in your deck. We have 2 wheels which can shuffle your library into your graveyard, so if you find one of those and you have a Surly Badgersaur out, which you're going to see in a minute, you can get basically around 210 Locusts, which is enough to kill everybody. Unless someone's playing a life gain deck, you can probably kill them with Locust God as well. Next up we have Glinthorn Buccaneer. Whenever you discard a card, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Obviously, if you play a Windfall, discard your hand, draw 6. Let's say you're dealing 18 damage to each, 18 damage overall, 6 to each opponent. That's a lot of damage. Very efficient. Live Mizzet. This also draws you cards, and whenever you draw a card, it deals 1 damage to any target. This also can't be countered, so you can play this and wheel, and if they have any creature counters, they can't stop that. You can ping off a lot of small creatures, mana dorks, utility creatures. Ominous Seas. Whenever you draw a card, it gets an ominous foreshadow counter. And then you can remove 8 and make an 8/8 Kraken. Very good again, and it's got cycling as well. Psychosis Crawler. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent loses 1 life, and its power and toughness is equal to the number of cards in your hand. Let's say you cast a wheel and you have 0 cards in hand, it does not actually die because the spell needs to finish resolving, and by the time it's resolved you'll have the cards back in your hand again. So that's not bad in this deck either. Draw 5, each opponent loses 5 life. Losing life is better than dealing damage because people might have ways to prevent damage but not the loss of life. Slowly Badger Saw, whenever you discard a creature card it gets +1/+1 counter. Discard a land card, you get treasure. That's what we really want in this deck. When you discard a non-creature, non-land card, fights up to 1 target creature. And it will happen in the order of those. So let's say you discard your hand, you've got 2 creatures, a land, and I don't know, a Soul Ring or something. It gets 2 counters first, then you make the treasures, then you fight something, so it'll always be bigger to fight the creature. Narset, bit mean, but I like it. Each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. Then you can -2 it and look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them, put it into your hand, and you put the rest on the bottom. Starts at 5. We're going to have a lot of flyers, a lot of chump blockers to protect it. Wheel, no one's got any hands. Not nice, but I've got very angry at someone before, so I did that. And then I killed them with a infinite combo, so... negate, counter target spell for 2 mana, not bad. Can protect yourself from board wipes, targeted removal spells. Dual caster Mage, just a good utility creature. You can copy your wheels, you can copy enemy opponent's removal spells. If someone tries to counter your spell, you can copy their counter and then target their counter. So yours will resolve first, counter their counter, and then thing's gone. Then we have Mystic Confluence. You can choose 3 and it costs 3 and 2 blue. I usually like to counter a spell, draw a card and bounce something, or draw 2 cards and counter something. Counter's definitely the best mode on this. Let's say it's a full stack, you can counter 3 things if you want. And the bouncing was also very helpful. Get rid of blockers so your Locust can get in with Breath of Fury on them. Next you have Deflecting Swat. Let's say someone targets your commander with removal, redirect it to their commander or one of their creatures. Just very good card. I mean, I have a Fierce Guardianship, you could put that in there as well. My meta's better for Deflecting Swat, but yours may be better for Fierce Guardianship. I find there's more single target removal than board wipes in my meta. But if you have a lot of board wipes, then you're going to want Fierce Guardianship. Obviously, you're paying more, but you can put that in there. Then we have the both castles in this colour. This allows you to filter the top of your library. That's just fine. And then Castle Embereth pumps all your Locust +1/+0. Very good there. And they enter tapped unless you control a land of the colour. Then we have a Exotic Orchard and Command Tower. Probably going to tap for both of our colours. Most games people could be playing blue. And Command Tower automatically taps for both our colours. Next we have Mirror Landscape. This ramps us, gets 2 basic lands put onto the battlefield. They have to share a land type. Very good with Niv Mizzet because he costs triple blue, triple red. We have Sheaven Reef, taps for both our colours and deals with damage if we want to have it add one of those colours. Again, it enters untapped, doesn't slow down our deck very much. Spine Rock Knoll. Hideaway, you exile a card from the top 4 and then put the rest on the bottom, and then if the opponent was dealt 7 or more damage you can cast it. A lot of high cost things in this deck which you can cheat out. Next up we have Swift Water Cliffs. When in battle you gain a life, enters tapped, just a fine card. Temple of Epiphany, enters battlefield, scry 1, adds both of our colours again. And then we have 15 islands here. And 11 mountains, I believe. You can look in the deck list in the description. Yeah, 11. And just to check, and you can also just put it into Card Kingdom or TCG Player if you want to buy it. And is it Boiler Works, enters battlefield, return a land to your hand. Fixing again, basically counts as 2 lands. So that was my Locust God deck. This deck is very good, I find. I'm going to show you a couple of sample hands first, but it's very fast and efficient. As long as you can ramp out Locust God quite early, you can make a lot of locusts, return it after it comes out, and hopefully you have a way to make get more damage in, like a Shed Amnosty or Torbran. Both of those are very scary to play against. Sometimes use the draw card, discard card. I don't use it unless I'm in trouble. I have used it before. So I'm going to show you a hand here. This hand's pretty basic. You can cycle this away. I mean, I would keep it. It's fine. Draw a card. You've got double red to cast the Glinthorn Buccaneer. I'd say that's keepable. You haven't got any ramp, so it's not ideal, but you can sculpt your hand early game to find that other blue to play Kami, or you can cycle with a Ominous Seas away. I'm not shuffling this deck much, so it won't be very well shuffled. Yeah, you see we've got a lot of blue cards there. That hand's definitely not keepable. Unless you draw another land, you're not okay. You can win full if you draw another land, but you don't really have much to go off then. You had a Soul Ring, but you didn't know that. If you've got a 3-land hand with ramp, you're going to be okay. Because there's so many ways to sculpt your hand early game. You can wheel away your hand to get more lands. I'll show you one last opening hand here. Oh, we've actually drawn some ramp this hand. I mean, this hand's definitely keepable. You've got 2 ramp cards, a wheel, card draw, a Chaos Warp. You can get both your colours. Definitely play the Talisman first, then the Mind Stone. Then you'll be set up to play a turn 4 Locust God, which is amazing. Then you can wheel the turn after, make a load of locusts, then cast Deep Analysis from your graveyard and make more. That's the example of a very good hand. If you draw another land, you can cast Locust God turn 4. You would not have got there, but it's fine. So thank you for watching. That'll be all for today. Goodbye.